Howdy y'all, welcome back to the Den DBZALLSTAR. I'm DBZALLSTAR, or Steve if you prefer. And before me, I have two books. I have the recently released Ken Penders Knuckles Omnibus. This is the variant cover, sold out, unavailable, but you still can get your own copy of the regular cover featuring the Sheriff Knuckles hat pictured front and center on the cover. I also have the long out of print Sonic Select Book 1, but you never know. Ken might have some on his website, kenpenders.com. So this is another Floating Island Productions video. In this case, what I'm going to do to further encourage people to give the Floating Island production books a chance, as well as pay tribute to all of the work that's gone on to produce these, and to restore some of the stuff that was originally published and then reprinted in books like this, originally published through Archie Comics. I'm going to do a comparison to showcase what exactly was changed without being overall too in-depth, because I want you to have your own experiences. With that being said, this book collects material from the Sonic In Your Face special, which was the first Sonic special / one-shot / annual released for the Sonic the Hedgehog ongoing series through Archie Comics. It also collects the Sonic and Knuckles special, the Sonic Triple Trouble special, the Sonic Live special. Not everything, but a pretty good chunk of it. And with that in mind, I'm going to do the best I can to do overhead views, which I'm still working on, to make a comparison of the material contained within each of these books. Not to compare and say, hey, this one's better, but just to do an overall comparison. So let's get started. Alright, back to the table here. I do not have a stand that does the best overhead shots, so I'm going to do the best I possibly can with the equipment I have currently until I get a webcam with support. As always, I'm filming on my Samsung Galaxy SG20 FE. I believe I got this right. So this book, if you can see, is the Sonic and Knuckles special inside the Sonic Selects issue 1. You can see the color there is as close as we can get to the original single issue. And we have the same pages contained within the Ken Penders Knuckles Omnibus Volume 1. Pretty similar, but the Ken Penders Omnibus is showcasing some more vibrant colors here, because there was a restoration on some of the work, which I know can be controversial. I know some people prefer the original colors. More often than not, I do, but if it's an enhancement and it's a restoration of what was originally intended, I'm perfectly okay with it. So you see the cover and you see the title page there presenting the stories, and looks pretty vibrant. Again, here's the Archie Comics publication through Sonic Select Book 1. And we're going to go to select pages here. We'll go for the big 2-page spread here for the first story, which is Panic in the Sky, again from the Sonic and Knuckles special, with everyone exclaiming about the floating island being a floating continent. Well, they are not wrong there. But if you look, again, the colors are more vibrant, and it's been updated to include shadowing. And you got to think, if a continent is floating overhead, the sun's going to be blocked by the island, right? So, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I think that is a very intelligent change to make for this book. Now we're going to move forward here. Let's see a sequence with Knuckles and Sonic. Knuckles originally debuted within the Archie world in Sonic the Hedgehog issue 13, which I believe was released in 1994, considering Sonic the Hedgehog 1 of the ongoing series was released in 1993. So we have Sonic and Knuckles encountering each other, still a bit of rivalry there. And we're going to try to find that same page here. And different coloring, if you look at it. And it's more reflective and makes more sense as to what the coloring should be. You don't just have those tan tones. You don't just have Sonic and Knuckles battling on a piece of debris in lava. The lava looks closer to the lava you see in films and to a certain extent in real life. And the heat from the lava is showcasing its change in coloring on Sonic and Knuckles both. I think, yet again, that was an intelligent change. And not everything is something that I'm going to say was a positive change. However, I do have to do a fair comparison as someone who appreciates the art as well as the actual writing. Here we have the end of one story, not trying to spoil anything, and the cover page for Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble. Brilliant game released on the Game Gear, adapted for the Archie Sonics comic, also featuring Knuckles. Later retconned, if you watch my stream with Brian, to feature Knuckles as a robot who's been replaced, not as one of the three primary villains. So we're doing the best we can here to track down the page, because obviously it's not set up the same way as the Sonic Select. So I apologize for the delay, but you still get to see some beautiful artwork here. Got Sonic. Oh, that's Knuckles Chaotix. Or Chaotix. But yeah, let's compare that. I definitely remember this cover. And that's vibrant as heck. Where do we have Triple Trouble? So page 73. There we go. Again, more vibrancy. And those are just a few examples there. Does this make Sonic Select a defunct publication? Well, it is defunct through its nature because Archie is no longer publishing these. But I don't think it's defunct for enjoyment, just based on the fact that we now have this new release in the Ken Penders Knuckles Omnibus Volume 1. Enjoy it as you want to. Even with what I've expressed, there are those who are going to enjoy the original coloring, the original inks, and that's perfectly fine. More often than not, that's kind of my belief as well. Sorry, you can see my hand there holding up the tripod, but we're still working on the tech issues here. Overall, I would say that the coloring being more vibrant, the effect of certain elements being of more sound mind, the Ken Penders Knuckles Omnibus Volume 1 on sale on his website for $100 is the better route to go for a sense of realism, as real as you can get in a world where you focus on anthropomorphic animals. If you can track down Sonic Select Book 1, the single issues contained within, I'm all for it. I own those as well. Obviously, I own the Sonic Select, and I have this because I'm not big of a Sonic fan. But that's all for my comparison. Let's go back to the table. Alright, welcome back. So as far as what's better, it really depends on your preference, your perspective. I will say that I'm always going to treasure the original stories and how they were printed as single issues. They hold a really prominent place in my heart because Sonic the Hedgehog was the first comic book series I ever purchased and started collecting. But when it comes to showing respect to the original work, restoring it, this is similar to a Marvel Masterworks or DC Archive in a way, because it's the original creators, those involved in the production, putting these together to show respect. Not that Marvel or DC always brings in the original creators, but this is an independent publisher, Floating Island Productions. It's Ken Penders' baby, basically, and it's of a similar set of skills and a similar mindset as the Marvel Masterworks or the defunct DC Archives. So if you're looking for the best possible presentation, these Floating Island production books are the route to go. The Lara-Su Chronicles Beginnings hardcover has similar work put in. I can notice a slight difference between, as an example, the originally published Sonic the Hedgehog 131 and that contained in that hardcover. I'm sure in the Scott Shaw Sonic Days hardcover, as we've seen previews on Ken's social media already, we're going to see further restoration. Mr. Penders has even shared a panel from the Princess Sally miniseries as part of an upcoming Floating Island Productions project, possibly, and it looks beautifully restored as well. So I'm not going to have a debate as to what is better, because that's all dependent upon your personal taste and preferences, and I feel like there is a huge difference between what DC did with Swamp Thing and Batman, The Killing Joke, and what was done by Marvel to Walter Simonson's Thor. Sorry about that. This is done with the original creators involved. That makes a huge difference in my mind. The utmost care and respect is being put into these projects. So at the end of the day, your preference. I'm a big fan so far. If you like this content, I've got other Floating Island production videos out there. I'm going to keep producing these to the best of my ability, because I can talk endlessly about Sonic the Hedgehog and Archie Comics material. Please feel free to also check out the admin Brian and my live stream now as a video on the Omnibuds Cafè YouTube channel, where we talk about the first few Sonic games and why we love Sonic, why Sonic is important. I even talk a little bit more about Floating Island Productions, believe it or not, in that video, because Mr. Penders brought a lot of this material about. Please feel free, if you like this content, to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications of future content. Please tell me what your favorite Sonic project is, be it a comic, the anime, a television series, a video game, a plush, what have you. What you like about Sonic. What keeps you motivated to continue being a fan. Or is Knuckles more up your alley? What you like about him? Why you like him better than Sonic? Echidnas happen to be my all-time favorite animal, by the way. Want to keep interacting and keep this party going, because that would be way past cool, yo. Thanks so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay safe, and be well.